What if I told you that thinking negatively could actually be the key to building unshakable resilience? Sounds counterintuitive, right? In today's video, we're going to explore one of the most powerful, yet often misunderstood, concepts in Stoic philosophy: negative thinking. But don't worry, this isn't about wallowing in pessimism. It's about using negative thinking strategically to prepare for life's inevitable challenges and become more resilient in the process. So, grab your journal, sit back, and let's dive into the surprising power of negative thinking and how it can transform your mindset using the wisdom of Stoicism. First, let's clarify what we mean by negative thinking. When most of us hear the term, we probably think of a pessimistic mindset, focusing only on the bad, expecting the worst, and wallowing in negativity. But Stoic negative thinking is very different. It's not about dwelling on the negative for the sake of it. Instead, it's about preparing your mind for reality. You see, Stoics like Epictetus and Seneca believe that negative thinking, or what's known as premeditation of evils, is a powerful tool to build resilience. This means imagining and considering the worst-case scenarios, not to make ourselves anxious, but to prepare mentally for adversity. The core idea here is simple. If we can anticipate the challenges we may face, we'll be less shocked and more equipped to handle them. The Stoics argue that suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. By anticipating difficulties, we create a mental buffer that makes us more resilient when the inevitable setbacks happen. So why does negative thinking help us become more resilient? Let's break it down. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation. Most people might start thinking, what if I mess up? What if I forget what I have to say? These thoughts often cause anxiety, but what if you intentionally thought about the worst-case scenario in a Stoic way? You might consider, what if I do mess up? What if people judge me? What if I fail? Instead of avoiding these uncomfortable thoughts, you face them directly. You mentally prepare yourself by accepting that failure is a real possibility, but it doesn't define you. It doesn't mean you're incapable. And most importantly, it's not the end of the world. This kind of negative thinking isn't about giving in to fear or self-doubt. It's about preparing your mind to handle whatever happens with equanimity and grace. By acknowledging the worst-case scenario, we reduce its power over us. And when something goes wrong, we're already mentally prepared to deal with it calmly. The Stoics didn't just talk about negative thinking. They practiced it daily. Here are 3 Stoic techniques that use negative thinking to build mental strength. 1. Premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. This is the Stoic practice of imagining the worst-case scenarios in order to prepare for them. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote about this in his letters. He suggests taking time each day to imagine the worst things that could happen: losing your job, facing a difficult conversation, or even losing a loved one. But the key is not to dwell on these scenarios with anxiety. Instead, you're training your mind to accept that life is unpredictable, and no matter what happens, you can handle it. 2. Negative visualization. A related Stoic exercise is to practice negative visualization. This involves visualizing your life without the things you take for granted: your job, your home, your loved ones. Now, this may sound bleak, but hear me out. The purpose of this practice is to cultivate gratitude for what you have while simultaneously preparing yourself for the possibility of loss. The idea is that if you can mentally experience the potential loss of something important, you'll be more resilient if it actually happens. 3. Amor fati, love of fate. The concept of amor fati is the Stoic idea of loving your fate, whatever it may be. Instead of fearing challenges or misfortunes, you learn to embrace them as opportunities for growth. Imagine you're facing a setback. Maybe your car breaks down, or you receive unexpected bad news. Instead of letting it ruin your day or derail your plans, you say, "This is part of my journey. This is life, and I choose to learn from it." By accepting the negative events in life, you disarm them of their power over you. I want to share a personal story about how I use this kind of thinking in my own life. A few years ago, I was about to start a new job. The pressure was intense. I was scared of making mistakes, of not being good enough, of failing in front of others. But then, I remembered the Stoic concept of premeditatio malorum. I took a moment to imagine the worst-case scenario. What if I failed? What if I didn't meet expectations? What if I was let go? Instead of spiraling into anxiety, I sat with the discomfort of those thoughts. And do you know what happened? I realized something powerful. Failing wouldn't define me. It would hurt, yes, but it wouldn't be the end. I could learn from it, grow, and try again. Once I accepted this reality, I felt a sense of relief. I had mentally prepared for the worst, and I was ready to face whatever came my way with calm and confidence. So, what can we learn from the Stoics about the power of negative thinking? It's not about wallowing in pessimism or expecting the worst all the time. It's about using negative thinking strategically to prepare for life's inevitable challenges. By anticipating difficulties and embracing them, we become more resilient. We learn to handle adversity with grace, confidence, and clarity. Remember, resilience isn't built in the calm, peaceful moments. It's built in the storms of life. And the Stoics teach us that the more we prepare ourselves for those storms, the less they will shake us when they arrive. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried using negative thinking to build resilience in your own life? How has it helped you? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and share it with someone who could use a little more resilience in their life. And remember, true strength comes from facing life's challenges with a prepared mind. Thank you for watching, and as the Stoics would say, what stands in the way becomes the way. Embrace life's difficulties and turn them into opportunities for growth.